It's early morning here, 1 a.m.
Oh gosh, you should have said I would have changed the time. I'm sorry about that.
But it's an honor. I wanted to be in this time because it's a great opportunity for me to introduce you to my audience and tell about the work that you are doing.
Great. Yeah, no, anything I can do. This is great. I really appreciate taking the time, especially at 1 in the morning, to do this.
So thank you, Todd, for coming to my show. Before going into that, can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Yeah, my name is Dr. Todd Brown. My doctorate is in education, and my dissertation work was in computational sociology, looking at the strength of human connectivity and how it impacts different behaviors. I'm the founder of the Inspire Project and a co-principal investigator and founder of Operation Outbreak.
So mainly about the project, the Inspire project. So
Mhm.
I can see it is a collection of four projects. One
Mhm.
is Project Equality, one is Project Health, and one is Project Humanity, and one is Project Earth. So can you tell in detail about it?
Yeah. So it started as an opportunity for kids when I was teaching in a classroom to connect with different people from all over the world that did different things. And as it started to progress and grow pretty quickly, I felt like it would be important to have different pathways. So we'd have different guests from anywhere. Like I said, I've had over 100 guests from 26 countries at this point join us. Um, but they would fall into these different categories. So we'd have a little bit of a theme to go along with what we were accomplishing or what we were talking to these guests about. And then from there, what ended up happening is it was important to not only talk to people, but then have that lead to something. So I felt it was necessary to have some kind of culminating project that the classroom and different classrooms and schools could get together and move forward and do something that would fall within these themes towards sustainability and get the students actively involved other than just talking to someone and then being done. So that's really how the progression came about, and that's where we are today.
So I can see for each project there are different speakers.
Mhm.
I can see they are extremely influential speakers.
Yeah, there's different people, and it's what I do is reach out under certain themes, talk to people, see if they'd be interested, and really we try to make it as laid back as possible, kind of like what we're doing right now, just having a discussion. It's based on the popular TED Talk models, but what I've done is I flipped it the other way, so the kids are talking just as much as the guests. So it's a question answer type situation where we're having discussions, meaningful discussions about everything that you can possibly imagine, from their jobs to the history of how they got to where they are today. Some of the things that they had to deal with that were negative failures, some of their successes, and just having a dialogue and communication, and then tying that back into what kids are learning as they go through school.
So you have already done your education. You went deeper into the education, and you wanted to start this company, the Inspire project. And what is your inspiration behind this?
Um, Believe it or not, part of the inspiration is when I was in school, when I was younger in school, I had a teacher. Now, I was not the model student. I was a little bit of a crazy kid, but I had a teacher that told me that I would never amount to anything, um, which in retrospect was pretty damaging, pretty upsetting. But I thought if I got into education, I want to have, I want to take the opportunity to elevate kids and give them a platform to understand the world more than what they're reading in a textbook. I thought it was important. And I also wanted to look at what we could do to connect kids because they have so much energy. And a lot of the energy sometimes is misplaced because they just don't know what to do with it. So if we could connect kids with subject matter that not only impacted their lives, but also the lives of other people around them, I thought that would be really beneficial. And what better way to do that than to just have discussions and start to learn about different people, different occupations, different projects, different things from all around the world, and hopefully spark some inspiration and get people involved together and to make a difference.
So do you have any particular experience that made you to start this?
Um, Actually, it wasn't. It was because in the school district I was teaching at the time, there was a requirement for middle school students to learn about different jobs. And a lot of the curriculum that was out there was literally, reading about what a lawyer does. And I just thought that was so boring and just terrible. So I said, you know what, why don't we start talking to people that do this for a living? And then not only that, not only these traditional jobs of, police or lawyers or teachers, let's talk to everybody that does everything from singers to actresses to scientists, everybody, because there's so many different occupations and things out there that kids may not even be aware of. And again, so that's kind of where it began. And then it really expanded quickly from there.
It sounds really interesting and inspiring. I think that is one of the reasons that you put this name as the Inspire Project.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing. If I can get a kid, even if one student can find inspiration from someone and one of their stories, or just get excited about coming to school and being excited about learning, that's what the project really is about, is exciting kids about learning.
So you started this in 2017.
Yeah, what ended up happening is I had a speaker or two because we all have probably had guest speakers in schools. And I saw how excited the kids got about it. And I thought, let's start doing this more often. If we are studying something specific in the classroom, that I might be able to connect with someone that's lived it, or maybe even the person we're reading about, that really brings it to life. And then it kind of blossomed from there and got bigger and bigger. Now there's themes. For instance, in May, I have a big event that will be almost an all-day event where we'll have 10 guest speakers throughout the day, in which the title is "It Won't Always Be Like This," and it's looking at racial, cultural, environmental injustices, things of that nature. What can we do to get involved in these different things and help create change, even representation, things of that nature? So it's really blossomed into these event-based activities for students all over the world. It's free. It's anybody that wants to jump in are more than welcome to engage, and we're trying to spread the word.
So you want to create impact by sending a new thought, a new way of educating people, new way of looking at what exactly the subject is and the topics are, by connecting and communicating with different country people who are into different professions.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times, in an education standpoint, we ask the students to step into our world as an adult, when really we need to start to step into the children's world and the students' world to see how they see things, and then find a way to connect the students with one another and with people that are actually change makers. There's not a lot of people out there that like to just be told to be quiet and this is what you're supposed to do. We need to flip that model, and we need to listen as adults, because there's so many amazing things going on from the youth of the world. And I say we, a lot of times my generation and the older generation has kind of messed some things up. And in order to fix that, we need more than just our opinion and the people around us. We need younger people to get involved, because in order to solve some of these issues that we're having to deal with now, it's going to take years, and we're too old to do it. We need new ideas, new faces, new energy, and that's what we're trying to do here.
So how many have joined till today?
Oh gosh, it's funny. I have had speakers or guests talk to a classroom of 10 people, and that's it. And then it is scaled. I had a Project Earth, an environmental event in which we had 19,000 people from 25 countries join, 9 speakers from 8 countries, a couple of hour events. So it varies quite a bit. Over the course of the life of Inspire, we're looking at around 500,000, a little over 500,000 kids over the last however many years, which is so much different than what I thought starting it with just one classroom and one class. So it's amazing.
So how many country people are participating in this?
Again, it varies. We've had it's primarily situated within the United States, but we have had people from almost every continent. So Asia, Europe, Africa, Australia. And it varies. Right now, looking at the next event in May, it looks like we're having quite a few schools in the United States and Europe, but we're looking to expand to get anybody involved as we can. As you know, right now, the tricky thing is the time zones. So right now I couldn't be running a session with someone like a school in India, for instance. But there are ways of working around that, and we're looking at seeing how that can happen.
So is it free or is it premium?
Yeah, it is absolutely free. Every school, kid, family, anybody that wants to join in, I want to make sure that they have access. And that's really kind of the foundation of Inspire is, we want to reach as many people as we possibly can. And if we start asking for money for people to join, then you're starting to move away from what we're really trying to do. And I've never felt that that's something that I wanted to do. I want it to be accessible to anybody and everybody that we can.
So this is your full-time job?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm sure in my country also people will connect with what you said, and they also will follow the work that you're doing, and also participate in the projects of yours, because you're telling the 4 important factors which every human need to know: the importance of earth and health and equality, all
Yeah,
these things.
and they all overlap, right? I mean, they're all, even though I look at it a little bit in silos, they all overlap to some degree. There's always a connection between all of those, and that's the thing that's really important, is understanding the connectivity between not only the themes but one another all around the world. We're all human, we're all part of the human race, and we all need to work together to solve some pretty big issues.
So what you understood about this connectivity between human beings who are into different parts of the world, who are into different time zones?
Yeah, so it's interesting because, as we know with the pandemic, the more isolated we become, the more difficult it is for an individual or a family. We have that need to be connected. In human behavior, social psychology, I mean, you look at self-determination theory, what makes us feel whole as a human being, and it comes down to feeling competent, feeling authentic, and connection with others. And I mean, that's kind of the basis of human life, right? Is we all want to be part of something bigger than ourselves and want to feel like we've done something positive to leave this place better than where we found it. And I think that's the driving force behind all of this.
So how is your government support for this?
Excuse me, say it again.
What is how is your government is supporting this?
We're trying to get as many organizations and people aware of what's happening, and not only from a problematic standpoint, like these are the issues, but we're looking for people that are interested in supporting Inspire through problem solving. So you can come and complain about all the different things that are going on, but let's find solutions. Everybody can complain. The hardest thing is to find a solution. And when I can't find it, I recognize that my knowledge is limited. So, hey, let's get other people or the organizations to jump in and see what we can do and make a difference.
So what is the difference that you are observing after this gradual change? When you started in 2017, now it's 2021.
I think it's positivity. that kids are realizing there are things that they are passionate about that they may not have known before. So they have this when they're exposed to things, uh, whether it's an occupation that they didn't even know existed, or a problem that they're like, holy cow, I didn't know this was actually occurring, whether it's in my backyard or across the entire world, like where you are in India. That stuff really changes how people view the world, because then they realize, you know what, you may have a problem in your country that we have in our country, and I had no idea. And then that connects us, so we can start to move forward. And we what I'm trying to do is engage kids and get them passionate about something. They are passionate. They just don't know what they're passionate about. And once they recognize that, to see the energy and the light bulb go on and say, I want to do something. I don't want to just sit here and be a passive observer. I want to, hey, listen, what can we do? How can I do it? When can we do it? We're seeing a lot more of that, where the kids are really getting engaged with their local community and their international community.
So what age group people are connected with this?
It's all ages, but I can say primarily from looking at the statistics over the course of the years, anywhere from middle school age, so like 12, 13, all the way up through college, university age, and beyond. So there's no limitation in recognizing that you have a place in this world. So it's important for everyone. I will say some of the topics are a little heavier for younger kids. But that's the world we live in, and we need to be exposed to what's happening so we can try to do something.
So what is the response that you're getting from kids? Because understanding the 360 degrees of this planet, trying to connect with different country people, in like scientists, professors, it's a different experience.
They're just having their eyes open. And their eyes open in a couple of different ways. A lot of times passion is based on proximity. So if something happens across the world, kids don't care per se, because it doesn't affect them. But then when they start to get exposed to that and realize that it does affect them, and then they can affect that situation across the other side of the world, that really wakes them up a little bit, if you want to call it that. And then the other thing too is realizing that it's important to recognize and have perspective of how good, for instance, we have it in a certain part of the United States versus other people. We'll have kids that get upset because their cell phones died, and that's like the end of the world. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. When there are people starving to death all over the world. Like, let's back up a little bit and think about really what is good, bad, and indifferent, and how can we take our energy and our time and help other people. So I think it's really eye-opening for kids to see the world and hear and have a meaningful discussion with people from around the world, instead of just reading about it in a book.
So what is the syllabus? How they are going to join, and how they are going to start it? And is there any time frame that they have to join in this day?
Yeah, so essentially what happens is I announce the new events several months out, and then I'll start announcing the guests that are going to be joining us one by one, to see if people are interested, and let them kind of read a little bit and watch videos as I put this on social media or on my website about, this is the event, these are who is involved. If you want to join, you really, all you have to do is contact me directly, or through the Inspire website. I can send you a Zoom link, and then you join when it's time. As far as the times that it's available, ultimately right now the event is going to be running in May 16th. It is going to be running, we're going to go West Coast all the way through European time. So it's going to be a big, long day. So I haven't set the times specifically, but all those details will be released on social media and through my website as it gets closer.
So what events that you did already from 2017 till today?
Yeah. Gosh, now you're testing me. You're making me feel old. I'm going to forget. So we've had things like Project Earth Equality Day. We've had our Operation Outbreak situation. We've had different events. The last one in September that was a lot of fun, actually, was looking at different types of like non-traditional jobs, whether it is we had a body painter that was the world champion body painting artist. We had a stand-up comedian that has had now over 1 billion views on social media. We had a three-time Academy Award-winning costume designer. So that event itself was just, again, exposing students to things that they may not have any idea that actually were a job where they could make a living with. So again, we've had the Project Earth. We've done that several times, where we look at different environmental issues from different parts of the world, how our behavior in the United States or the Western world actually affects negatively, has a negative impact or effect on other people around the world, and what we can do to change that, whether it's helping the people directly in different parts of the world, or changing our behaviors individually in our hometown that has that ripple effect as it moves around the world. So those are a couple of different events that we've had.
And what are the upcoming events?
So right now, it is the May 16th event. It won't always be like this. And right now, I've got 9 guests that are very excited to join us from all different walks of life. They're primarily in the United States. I'm trying to think off the top of my head the guests themselves. But it is an event that, again, is open to anyone and everyone. I'll be announcing the guests moderately soon. And it's really about understanding individual struggle and how we all have individual struggles to some degree, but we're connected because of those struggles. And we can have a unified front in fighting against things like environmental injustice or equality and things of that nature. So that's the next event in May.
So what is the Inspire project impact on Earth today?
Not what I'd like it to be, not yet. I think it takes time to get people involved and kind of understand. And what the biggest impact is right now is people understanding that education has shifted to so much book learning that you start to have this disconnect with people, and you have this disconnect with your community. And schools aren't just a siloed organization sitting somewhere on a piece of land where you're learning. Learning comes from everything, everywhere, all the time. And when you are just sitting in a classroom, we have to understand, in order to make an impact, we've got to get the classroom, we've got to move beyond the classroom walls. And that's really the impact that we're looking to have. And it's a tough fight sometimes, because people are comfortable with doing what they've always done. And this is shaking that up a little bit and saying, you know what, take time away from a textbook, take time away from taking a test, and just talk to people and understand, get a little bit more universal understanding than what you're dealing with or seeing with right in front of your own eyes in your own community. And that's really the impact that we're going for, is connecting people and seeing things in a different perspective.
Can I say you are an expert of social psychology and human psychology?
I don't know if I'm an expert on anything, but social connectivity and social psychology, yeah, and how it impacts education. Like my work for my doctorate was looking at how social connectivity influences academic performance. So essentially, how your friends help or hurt your grades in school. And what we found out, or what I found out, is your academic performance, your friends influence 30% of your academic performance. So you have to start thinking about who your circle is, and that affects how you perform academically. And that goes beyond. It piggybacks on research from Dr. Christakis from Yale, in which things like weight gain, smoking, voting, divorce, all of these things are actually impacted by who you are around. And it's a fascinating field. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at this from Inspire. The more we can connect people, the more we can start to have that group feel, And then we tap into some social psychology and some positivity and see where it leads us.
So one last thing is, what is your goal with this Inspire project?
Oh, ultimately, it would be fantastic if we can connect as many schools as we can from all over the world working in a unified direction to solve problems of sustainability. Whether it's pollution, whether it's inequality, whether it's economic, or like we're seeing right now, with vaccine distribution and the pandemic. I mean, there's so many things that we need to work together as a whole, and move away from the us versus them mentality. Ultimately, the goal would be to connect everybody and get them to understand that we're all in this together, right? I mean, that's the thing. We're all in this together, and it's not, these major issues aren't going to be solved unless we work together on a unified front. And I think that's ultimately the goal.
So at last, do you want to say anything to the institutions or organizations or people who are head of the systems who are watching and listening to our conversation from anywhere on this planet?
Yeah, you know what? Contact me through the Inspire site or through social media. Jump on. I'm more than happy to help anybody whenever I can. The more people we can get involved in talking and connecting, the better off we're going to be. So feel free. Like I said, it is free of charge, and looking to connect as many people as we possibly can. So I really appreciate this and having this opportunity.
So I'll put the website link in the on the screen. People who watches our video can see the link and can get into the site. So at last, what do you say about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
Yeah, after you contacted me, I went through a couple of the YouTube links and watched some of the interviews, and I think it's fantastic. It's great. It's kind of, we're almost kind of doing the same thing, right? We're exposing everybody to different people and different ideas and organizations in hopes that will generate some interest and generate a movement. So I think it's fantastic.
So I want you to continue doing the great work. I'm sure this Inspire project will impact more human beings on this planet for the betterment of the society, betterment of the world, and to create positive energy on this planet.
Cool. Thank you. No, I really appreciate it. We'll stay in touch. I'll give you some updates as things happen, and who knows what we can do in the future together. Seriously.
Thank you, sir. Keep going, keep doing what you love.
You too, man. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Yeah. Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Totally.
And also, can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Yeah, you do whatever you need to do, and hopefully we'll change the world.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.